Yeah,
All right,
I just keep
hello
it steady on
everybody.
the
Welcome
magic.
back to
Do
the
my thing, I'm
Uprooted
healing, it's
podcast.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're gonna just have
If I
some
fall,
good
rise
conversation
automatic.
about some good
You ain't
topics
on
with some
that,
good
you
people.
know. I'm the one raised myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl rising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout take off. Ooh, she bout.
Hey, it's your girl Hannah, aka Rootsa, and you're watching the Uprooted podcast. Y'all, today I have some East Coast women joining me. We're gonna talk about what they doing out there in the East Coast, the tri-state Tegaru. They holding it down. I have my girl Feven joining and Abby. They are gonna hold it down. They're gonna let y'all know everything that's going on this weekend for them, and also just ways y'all can just get involved, participate. You know, this is a marathon, and we gotta make sure that our team is large, okay? We need to make sure these women have all the support and help they need out there, and that our East Coast Tagarus are, you know, supported as well. So I'm gonna let them join, but hey y'all, how's your Wednesday? How's it going? As you can see, I'm still chilling and enjoying this wilderness. The crows are not cooperating with me, but it's okay. It's okay. It should be like that sometimes. Yep, Denver is up this weekend. It is. And if you are flying back to New York, there's another protest on Sunday. If y'all can make it to that as well. If you're in the tri-state area. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Okay, I see your request. And let me see if I could get Feben. Okay, let me see. Okay, I think it's sending y'all a request, so we'll see how this goes. Yay! Hi, you made it on.
Let me turn up my volume.
And I think, let me see, Abby is the. I don't know. Yona said literally we turn it upside down. Tegaru getting recognized. That's 100% facts. That's 100% facts. I don't know why it's not accepting you, Abby. I don't know what's going on. Check your settings, Abby, and make sure that your Instagram has access to your camera so that you can get on live. I'm gonna let her.
Ariane join it, I guess.
Yeah, I have her request. I sent you both one, and I keep trying to request her, but it's not going. So try leaving and joining back again, Abby, if you're on here still. Okay,
She's
got
joining.
it. Okay, we're gonna give her a couple minutes to figure that out. Yeah. In the meantime, though, how are you, love? How you doing?
Tired. The kids are asleep, and I'm just like, so, yeah, it was such a long day, and, but I'm happy to be here and to talk to you alongside Abby when she finally makes it.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I forget.
but
You're
a
two
lot of
hours
running
ahead.
around.
You are 2 hours ahead. So those of you who don't know, I'm speaking of Feven. Feven is on right now, but we also have Abby coming on. Okay, I see her request. Let me see if it'll work this time.
Okay.
Let's cross our fingers.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay! Hi guys. Let me
Hey,
adjust this. Oh my god. Okay. Does this still have a filter? No.
I don't know, but you don't even worry. You don't even need a filter, okay? Because listen, we all natural
Right.
brown. Because women who work,
Exactly.
we just gotta make it work. You know what I'm saying? We gotta just make it work. Y'all, this is so dope. So you guys are in the East Coast, repping Tri-State Tegaru, right? Is that the name of the group? Tri-State Tegaru. So to the people on the East Coast who be like, oh, I've been giving a lot of West Coast love lately. Look, I came all the way to the East Coast for y'all. So, first and foremost, welcome, 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 and I'm so excited. We're gonna get down to the nitty gritty on this, but also, we were just saying hi to Feven. Now we have Abby. If you guys want to just say hello to the people, let them know who you are, and like, you know, what you're doing, what's the work, and how they, you know, we'll just take it from there.
Okay, hi guys. I'm Abby from Harlem, USA. I lived here quite a bit, maybe, I don't know, 15 years now. I love it here. And it's kind of like an advocate type of thing, but somehow I thought all was well back home. So I haven't really been involved in that aspect until all hell broke loose. So here we are trying to help do whatever we can to help Tigray, and that's pretty much it.
I love it. Abby, you too? Or Abby, you too? Oh my God. Whenever I have two people, it throws me off. Okay, Feven.
Hi everyone. My name is Feven, and like Abby, I'm also from Harlem. I grew up in Harlem. I've been here almost all of my life. I came here when I was around 5, and so I've been here. I'm not gonna give up my age, but I've been here for a very long time. And I'm part of the Tigray, the Tri-State Area Advocacy Group, as well as the Tri-State. It's now going to be a local New York TPN chapter, and it's the networking group. So yeah, we've come together, and you know, I joined both of the groups because of what was happening back home in Tigray. I mean, you can't just sit on the couch and not do anything about it, you know? So I think all of us just want to help out and support and do everything that we can. So I've joined everything, pretty much. I mean, yeah. So I just want to support Tigray.
I love that. Okay, so when I went to New York years and years and years ago, and then again recently, it was so hard finding Habesha people. I mean, it's a big city, obviously, right? Like, we're huge, like, but it was so interesting, like, trying to find Habesha people. Like, you know, we looked up a couple of restaurants here and there, but by and large, I feel like it would be difficult to like pull a group together in New York, let alone tri-state. So if you guys could maybe like explain to people how those groups were formed. Were they like communities that were already existing and you were able to join that way? Or like, say I'm a New Yorker, or like I live in Jersey or something and I wanted to join, like how would they have like be able to find you and get in contact with you all?
Well, there is a standing sort of community group that they had. I was neither of us. I think Feven's dad was in it, but we neither one of us were in it. The advocacy group though was created just for this. Like, this was an emergency, and so I think a couple people from that group were like, okay, we've got to get as many people as we can get. You know, right. Our senators, our Congress people. We have a Congressman Meeks in Queens, who's in the Foreign Relations Committee, which is a very important seat. So we wanted to start advocating for that. So to give you an example, Feven and I live 5 blocks. We'd never met. We were in the same community. Talk. We just, New York, you just stay in your own lane. I didn't really hang out with people that weren't already friends based on where they, you know what I mean? So, but this got us together. So we actually met online, like in a comment section, and she's all in New York, we're trying to do the same thing. And I was like, well, I'm in New York, where can we meet? You know, so that's how it happened. So since then we've been working hard.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. But it's really mostly a new thing. Feven, go ahead. Sorry, dear.
No, absolutely. That's pretty much how the advocacy group started. And then with the networking group, you know, like they had a few members of the, like within the tri-state community, they organized the first initial protest at the UN. And so several young Tegaru, like they met there, they started mingling, and then they were like, listen, like, we have to find each other. It was like, oh, I see you, I see you, I see you, like, let's get a group going. And so the Tri-State Tegaru group kind of formed, the networking group formed from that, like just meeting at the protests, building friendships. A signal or a group chat was created, and then like people just kept adding like who they knew. It's like, oh, so and so is in New York, so through different networks, and then it just kind of like grew and grew into now where it's going to become, like I said, a local TPN chapter. So yeah, I mean, like Abby said, so many Tegaru in the tri-state area, and none of us really knew each other. There were a few of us who, like, we're cousins. Like, we grew up, we grew up together. We used to go to the same church, that sort of thing. But I personally don't know the majority of the members in both groups. Like, I'm just meeting, and it's because so this crisis just like brought us all together. Yeah.
I'm still tripping off the you live 5 blocks away from each other thing. Like
Yeah.
but again, I'm not gonna lie. I remember this is nowhere near the same. I live in the burbs now, as you can tell by the scenery around me. And I literally went on a walk one time and like ran into someone I knew, and I was like, I didn't know you lived in this neighborhood, and she lives 2 blocks like over. So I definitely resonate with that idea of like you live in your own world, and like you carve a lane out, especially like those of us who are trying to break barriers and like as first generation, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, there's not usually a lot of people in our lanes. Like we're usually trailblazing somehow, somewhere for our people. So I can understand that for sure. That also poses the question of like how hard it is to get attention in New York, because everybody is in their own lane doing their own thing, and it's hard to like get people to stop moving. Like people be moving there, they are fast with it, and like you are in their way. So I see like you guys have, I mean, I went to the protest, the national one, and that was a beautiful huge turnout. But I know like on your guys's, on a local level, when you're doing consistently on your own, it's a difficult thing to do. And so you guys have chosen to do something really cool, and you're gonna do a run and a protest, right? In Harlem, and you're also doing something unique because you're gonna have the kids involved, right? So can you guys speak to why you're doing it in Harlem, and like why you created this protest, and you know what I mean, kind of give them a lay of the land?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, and I think also for Abby, the fact that we're like both natives of Harlem, like this is home for us, and so like it's just, it has like an emotional like feeling to it associated with the protest, with the march, and just the overall event. But beyond that, like I have a lot of friends in our neighborhood, like just even my neighbors, or like just within the community. I realized that a lot of people did not know what was happening in Tigray, like in Harlem. So I was like, wait a minute, like this is, I mean, obviously like Harlem has changed over the years, but predominantly like it's like African American community. And so part of me feels like when Black America speaks, like people listen, right? And with everything that's been happening within the African American community, even with like all of the demonstrations and the protests and just the movement, I felt like it would be great to get that community involved and like to have them stand in solidarity with us. So that's really why we selected Harlem. And then as far as like to speak to like why we're having the children lead it, June 13th is National Children's Day. Okay. So to us, it only made sense that we would use that day as an opportunity to speak on the challenges, and just like the sufferings that the children back home in Tigray have had to endure. And to make it even more special, we felt that this should be the children should lead it. Like we should focus on them, and have kids here, like who, I mean, I'm a mom of 2, and it breaks my heart, like hearing all of the stories, like everything that's happening, the pain, the trauma, like everything that's happening to children in Tigray, like it's so hard to accept and to acknowledge and to like, so me watching my son like be a part of that march is really like, I don't know, it's just, I feel like I'm gonna be so emotional that day. But it's important for me like that my son understands what's happening in Tigray, not only as a, not only being from Tigray, but also as a child. Like it's really important that our kids are engaged in what's happening globally, not like just what's happening at home here, but really worried and concerned and like aware of what's happening globally. So it's important that kids from Harlem, from the Tegaru community, like come together and really just be the voice for the children back home. So that's why we did it. But Abby, please add to it.
Yeah, no, I saying one, it was, taking the opportunity that it was National Children's Day. I think that resonates with the whole world is that you can't hurt children. That's just, that it's literally like off limits. They've never done anything to anyone, So.
Oh, you're breaking up a bit. Is your phone leaning against something? It might be backing up your speaker. Okay, try again.
I actually have it on a one of those
little stands.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Try now.
Anything?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
You know what? I don't know if I put the Wi-Fi on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can hear you now. Ooh, and there's a bee next to me, guys. This is the dangers of doing stuff outside.
Oh,
I know. It's okay, guys. It's okay. I'm here awkwardly like, don't speak me, please don't speak me. Okay. Sorry. No, you're okay.
No, you're fine.
It's okay.
So sorry.
It gave me a
Is it
moment
better now?
Yes, perfect. Go ahead.
Oh my God, so sorry. That was so like. But
no, don't worry.
The opportunity of it being National Children's Day, and also, like nobody wants to see children hurt. Like that's just off limits. Like there's a lot of like sentiment amongst people who don't really care. You know who I mean? Like, oh, they did this for so many years. Well, this kid just got born a year ago. So,
yeah.
What's your excuse? You know what I mean? So, I think that's, for me, it's just like, watching the kids.
It's
hard. Watching the kids is hard. And there was a report that we referenced in our press release that like 6,000 are unaccompanied. These are 6,000 that UNICEF actually found and recorded and accounted for that are completely alone without either parent. Yeah. So this is a huge emergency for kids. So that's why we're there.
It's been on my heart heavy the last couple of weeks. I was telling Feven when she messaged me about the protest, and I was like, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely need to do something for these kids because the kids are watching. They're at home. You guys are watching the news. You guys are, and wherever the mom is, right, the kids follow. So when the mom is, protesting and stressed out and all of these things, like the kids want to help and they want to be involved in like whatever way. And I think it's really powerful and impactful to like not only allow them, but like encourage them to like use their voice and like to find it. And I don't know. I mean, I don't want our kids to have to learn how to protest, but I don't want them to not know how to protect themselves and like to use their voice at the same time. So it's kind of like, you got to do what you got to do in these circumstances. And I think you guys are doing it in the best way possible, in terms of like using it as a way to empower them and like, just give them an opportunity to feel like they're a part of something that's happening to them, Rahawa, shout out Rahawa in the tri-state group too. We got fam in the Bay, there's that connection as well, and she is highlighting Lola's children's house or children's fund.
What we're doing, obviously it costs money to, right, Feven? It costs money to get t-shirts, print our
flyers.
The flyers not really, that's free.
But like Lola's Children's Fund is an organization
we have left, and which we hope to be a lot from donations or whatever people share, then we want to donate to Lola's Children's Fund, which is what we right, Feven?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we're gonna be selling t-shirts, and like the funds that we would get from just the selling of the t-shirts, and it's gonna be a suggested price point. So like suggested, I think it's gonna be $20. And we'll have t-shirts that say Save the Children of Tigray on the front and like Tigray genocide on the back. And so the funds that we raise from that will go towards, we decided on giving it to Lola's Children's Fund because, you know, we're focusing on children and they're doing work there on the ground right now. So it's good to support them.
And then for the people who don't know about Lola's Children's Fund, could you just explain like briefly kind of what the kind of work they do?
Yeah.
No,
go ahead, Abby.
No, you would know more. I was going to defer. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. So it's an organization, and like they have services for kids who are, well, for children who are HIV/AIDS affected, orphans, and it's like an orphanage. But right now they're in Tigray and they're working with. So for us, it was really important to give our money to an organization that was like on the ground in Tigray. I mean, there's so many different fundraisers happening all over, but we felt that like this is an organization that we could trust. But their focus, what has been on children who've been HIV, you know, positive, and they're orphans, most of them. Yeah.
Man, yeah. No,
And
I wanted to.
bring patch.
Yeah, Rahua is. She said we where the money resides because we need to get these children help ASAP. So I love a woman who's on mission. Okay, she is on mission all the time, and I love it. No, that's beautiful. That also brings up the question, because I have this impression that most of the people, at least I see front facing for your guys' advocacy group, happen to be adults and parents, right? Some of the other groups are like led solely like by the youth, right? So, and when I was talking to you, Feven, you did say that there is a bit of a mixture. So like for anyone who is interested, could you kind of give them that kind of breakdown of like the makeup of the group and like what type of other things might be going on that they could be helpful in contributing to in some way?
Okay. Abby, do you want to answer that about the advocacy group?
I really do think it's like a mix, like from people who bring we have several generations, like both Feven and a couple of people like both the parent and the child are in the advocacy group. You know, she has kids but still really young, so like, and her dad is very young too. He's actually going to be running with us, and he's a coach and a runner.
Okay.
So like he's in it, she's in it, and her kids will be there, and there's couple of my aunt isn't there, so there's a couple of generations of people in it. So it's actually like in New York's case, you're right. I've seen like, you know, the marches in DC and in you know, Seattle and stuff like that. Really young people, like almost college age and a little above, just marching through, which has been it's really like a highlight for me, because I like to see all the amazing people all over the country, like the one silver lining, because it's like really, you know, you're all fantastic and all over, but yeah, I think it's a mix, right, Feven? Like definitely a big mix. It's not by no means all youth. Our like the parents are really leading it too, like the ones that were already in the community groups that decided that we had to start something.
Got it. Okay, cool. Because, you know, sometimes the youth like to complain. So I just want to make sure they know there's a place for them, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. They started it.
No, the advocacy group it's mixed. I mean, we have some members who are young, like as young as 20, like in their early 20s, and then we have from early 20s all the way to like, I would say maybe, I don't know,
maybe almost
like to retirement. And so it's a mixed group. You have a lot of parents in there with young children, with teenagers. You have working professionals, like you have doctors, lawyers, like just nurses, like it's a very mixed group. And it's nice. I mean, we're learning from each other, like where maybe my skill sets might be this and that and the other, and then like we're supporting each other. Like that's all I can say, because we're so different and we're bringing different things to the table. So that's what the advocacy group is about. And then the networking group, mainly like working professionals, definitely parents, like Rahua, she's a mom as well. And so there are several moms in the group, and dads, yeah, and of young children, of teenagers. I think, yeah, I know one member who has a teenager. But that group is more of a working professionals, like a the younger generation. And then the advocate is just a mix of both.
All right. See, I like to let people know, they got the receipts here. Because if y'all come my way and you're trying to learn about the East Coast people, just want to tell you, I'm gonna refer them to this.
Need more people.
Yeah, we need more people.
Absolutely.
We got to make sure they know that there is room for them, that their help is wanted and necessary, and that they got that you got a good, calm vibe. You know what I mean? You got people who just really want to get work done. The reason why I wanted to keep highlighting parents and kids is because I know that some people are worried about how they make time for things, and I'm like, yo, there are people who have whole children that are doing this work, and so
I appreciate them because I'm like, how do you guys do that? Because I'm stretched, so I definitely appreciate it. It's amazing how you like Feven's like, okay, I gotta put them down and I'll call you guys in a few. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, literally, you just kind of got to keep going. And it was also important. I was like, it makes sense why you guys are thinking of the kids and doing a kids. I know I've seen a couple of kids marches, but I feel like we don't advertise them as much. You know what I mean? Like we don't really give them as much attention, which is I don't know. I just feel like that's not fair. So I was like, they should get their love too. Like they're gonna be out there working and sweating their butts off. So we got to show them love, and it just gives them an opportunity to engage. And I don't know, man. I be seeing the little kids with their posters and their signs, and I'm just like, I hope they understand what's happening. So I think for them to actually lead it will be a really great experience. And then also, let's clarify too. Let's run it back. So if people are just joining or they're just getting into it, we're talking about the Tri-State Tegaru advocacy group. Tri-State, for those of you who are not in the U.S., is New York and Jersey, right? What's the other part? What's the tri?
In
Connecticut.
Thank you. I was like, what's the other part of the tri? Okay, thank you. And they are going to be having a protest this Sunday, right? Sunday in Harlem, New York. Can you break it down for them one more time, the times and the program for how this is gonna go?
Absolutely. So we're gonna have a run that begins at 9 a.m. and it's a 1.5-mile run. You don't have to run. You can walk. You can push your stroller. I'll be pushing my stroller. So you can jog. It's very simple, but it's just to give our community an opportunity to, move, be active. This is a really stressful time for all of us, and running is one way of kind of sort of just releasing the stress and keeping our mind and our bodies just active and alert. So that's why we're doing the run. And also to raise funds, because with running, many people run for charities, right? And so we're thinking if we can we've actually contacted folks who are in the running community, there's Harlem Run, a few running groups that we've done outreach to, and we're hoping that they'll come out as well. So we're trying to raise money, but also get the Tegaru community to be active. So 9 a.m. will be the run, and then the refreshments will be on 125th Street in front of the State Building. So 125th and Adam Clayton Powell, that's where the march will begin. And that portion of the event starts at 10 a.m. We encourage everyone to bring their own megaphones, to wear comfortable clothing and shoes, gear. And if I'm missing anything, Abby, maybe you can add to it. but it's 9 for the run and
Yeah,
10 a.m.
9
for the
for the
march.
run and for the march. And I really do want to emphasize, and you know, we did this several times. I actually wasn't at the big one that was on Washington Square Park, I think it was, but like the one at the UN, which is the first big one that everyone did, that got us all together in February, freezing cold. Like, people were a couple hours late, and that's usually fine if we have like a permanent place, but our permit so that we really have to be super punctual. So 9 a.m. we're gonna start running. I probably won't run, but like, I'll walk or you guys. But then so there's then we're gonna do that loop, which starts with Feven mentioned on Adam Clayton Powell in 110th, which is where the beginning of Central Park on the northern side. So it's beautiful. It's the park. It's the famous, world famous Central Park. And then they're going to do 1.5 miles, come on, and go to 125th in the same street of Adam Clayton Powell to like get water. I've heard there might be Russia. There'll be like there's you know, like, and you know, the kids will probably get candy or snacks or something like that. And then we're going to march again through Harlem. I mean, it's a very famous march loop. Like, I live here. I heard all the BLM, Black Lives Matter marches all through last summer. It passed right through every single day after the murder of George Floyd. Every day there was a march over here. So we're just, you know.
I think she cut off, but we're going to be following a similar route.
Happened to it?
I don't know.
Back?
Yeah, you're back.
You're back.
I've never done Instagram Live.
Listen, it's a trip. It's a trip. It's like my second home now, but like, ooh, when I first did it, I was like, child, I don't know why they started making us do this, but
it's on, and then you can't do it on computers.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Instagram's a major hater, bro. The major hater.
Like, tied to your phone, but like you said, like you mentioned, but so yeah, like, so we're gonna just do this march in like in Harlem, and we hope not, you know, sure we have the East African or whatever, but we also really want solidarity from African diaspora that's not East Africa. There's a big major Senegalese community. Like, it's called Little Senegal. We'll walk right, and we just want solidarity. Like, we just have to have the world know we're there. This is really, I don't know why there's not.
Listen, we've been circling that question for a long time, and it's I was like, there's a lot of different oppressive answers for why, but
like,
you know,
one of the worst things to happen to us ever, and we're like, you do see that, right? But I guess people, I mean, it's what the news focuses on that matters. But I think eventually they will, and this is like Feven, you said, where as African Americans go, so does like the rest of the culture. People will pay attention if
no, because I'm gonna answer it briefly, just because there's probably people in the audience who are like, actually, that's a great question. Why not? Like, just in case there's non-Tegarus who are like, actually, I can't believe this like genocide is happening and the world is silent about it. I just want y'all to do simple math, okay? Every government official knows about this, all right? They do government press releases all the time. They are on the news all the time. If they wanted to talk about it, they would. But it doesn't, like, in their mind, it doesn't benefit them enough to talk about it, like, because African countries are always at war. Black people are always dying, let alone they oppress us in this country. So like, the only way they're going to talk about it is if we force them to, and the only way we force them to is through popular culture, and popular culture is actually run by who? Black people and hip-hop. And so it's kind of like, it's really this whole stupid loop that we have to do over and over again. But it's kind of the cycle of life, right? It's like, you got to have the people check the other, like, first and foremost, we give government their power, right? We vote for them, we pay our taxes, we do all of those things. We also then have to stay on them. Like, and they have to make, like, we have to make sure that they're following through on their promise. The reason why it's so easy for them to ignore us, right, in our African immigrant communities, is because we don't advocate and organize in this way. Like, we don't normally do that. Like, you might have one or two Habesha people in certain spaces, but no way, shape, or form have we organized politically in these states the way that other communities have. And so, unfortunately, we have to do it now during this genocide. But it's kind of like, you know, we're learning fast. Thankfully, at least our generation is like old enough, right? We're actually working professionals, and we know a thing or two about how to, like, you know, make some waves. And the power of us coming together, even in this last 7 months, to get this done from a country, right, where our region is like completely ghost, right? Like, people in this country don't even know what Tigray is. So to even like get into the mainstream where like they're starting to actually say Tigray and not just Ethiopia, right? That's a major accomplishment. And like, you guys doing that in Harlem is going to be like even more important, you know, because we got to go to the cultural hotbeds of the country. We do. And Harlem is one. I don't know if people remember, but the Harlem Renaissance was like a huge thing that I remember learning about. And even going to New York, you can feel that energy. Like, you can feel the energy of the place and the people. And like, I'm from Oakland, from the Bay. You always get the most creative people out of the most impoverished places. And whenever you get that many Black people in one space, it's always magic. So you're right. Man, that's amazing. Go ahead, Hafte.
No, I was just saying, I was agreeing with you. Like, the past Saturday, we actually went on a door-to-door campaign. So like, the idea was to go around, you know, bring awareness to the community, because we realized that like not a lot of people in Harlem know that this is happening. So we were like, okay, we're gonna take pamphlets, distribute them, take the flyers, have them put it on their places of business. So like, we hit up all the local shops, like cafes, hair salons, like just at restaurants. We approached everyone, and it was such an emotional day. I know a few of us were like, there were moments where I was just like, oh my God, this is hard, you know, and I broke out, like, and I started crying, and like, we had, there were a few other people doing it with us, and like, there were moments where like, I'd cry and then she'd cry, and it was just like trying to bring what's happening in Tigray to these people was just such an emotional thing. But the love and the support that we received from them was so like, just, it felt so good, right? Like, I remember one place, it was a lounge, and the guy was like, I've lived in Harlem. Like, he actually lives on my block. I mean, God forbid, like, I've never seen this person, like, you know, but he was like, I will be there. Like, I'll be there with my family. Like, we're all going to come. I'm telling everyone, like, we will be there. And it was just so, like, empowering. And I was like, this is why we're doing it in Harlem, because we live here. Like, most of us are from Harlem. So it was like, we live here. We're getting our neighbors, our community to come and support us. And, like, that's how we need to do it. Like, it's one thing when we're talking about what's happening in Tigray as Tegaru, but when others are speaking up for us as well, like, that's how we bring about change. So the level of support, like, even from the West African community, like, you know, we have all of these like we have a market. It's like the African market. We went in there, we talked to the mothers, the fathers, like our sisters and brothers, and they were just like, we will be there. Like, it's okay. Like, it's happening in our country. Like, I met a few people that were like, yeah, this happened in my country, still happening in my country. But you know what? Like, we will be there. We'll speak out on this. We will support you guys. So the love that we got from them was just really wonderful. So Sunday, I think it's going to be a magical day. We also have kids that are going to be coming there. I spoke with one lady that lives in Harlem, and she was like, I'm gonna get kids for you from the community. So we have a basketball team, and they're gonna come and they're gonna bring their kids. So that's gonna be really sweet, you know, like the community is coming together. Like, and I'm sure, Abby, maybe you'll see some familiar faces, like neighbors or whatever, like, you know.
That's how I'll see you familiar.
Yeah, so it should be really nice. Yeah.
No,
I,
that was beautiful. It made me want to fly out there because you feel me. I was trying to do New York in the
oh,
summertime, but the whole New York in the
yeah.
summertime, I was like, oh, that means it's gonna be hot. Okay.
Well,
Mm.
it's still early. June. Well, I didn't say that because it's really hot today. But
I was like, it's so hot.
this weekend's going to be like 75. June is
Yeah.
cool. Now August, I can't talk about. But
Yeah, yeah. Me in August, because I went in August one time, and
yeah,
I was
that,
like,
that, that-
yo, why didn't
Yeah.
nobody warn me? I was like, no,
it's like
that ain't it. It ain't it. It ain't it. But man, no, I think it's gonna be. That's beautiful to me. I love that's grassroots organizing at its core, right? Like, go
Yeah.
door to. The fact that none of us know our neighbors is like beyond me. Why the hell?
I
I
know.
mean, I know why, because I don't do it either. But you know what I mean? Like, we really don't.
Yeah.
We really don't talk to people, and it's like, if anything, that's just like a circumstance of being American at this point. Like, we don't. We have our communities, and like we'll connect with certain people, but like here in Colorado, I will say people will say hello to you when you walk by, right? Like, they will stop and they say hello, or they'll give you a head nod, something. You're not getting that in New York. You're not getting that in major cities. Like, people are busy. Like, they got things to do. They got
Yeah.
places to
a
be.
little different than that. Like New York City proper, yeah, I think we're still Manhattan. Sorry I interrupted you,
No,
but
go ahead.
Manhattan is cold like that, but in
Fast-paced.
really nice communities. Like if I go to my local restaurant, it's like cheered. Like people like, hey Abby, like like
Aw.
really people like know each other. There's a few like really churches, but also smaller ones. So Harlem, I think similar to Oakland from what I understand, that like the coffee shops, the restaurants, the bars, the churches, people do know each other, which is what we're trying to like leverage and ask people to join us from those places. But like and even like especially through pandemic, you just got to know your neighbors, had no choice.
Yeah.
That
Seriously.
would actually make sense. I
Yeah,
didn't even think about that angle, because you guys are
Yeah.
stuck in a building, okay?
yeah,
So you looking at the same faces day in and day out.
yeah, we were.
Yeah.
I almost like I'm actually from Los Angeles originally before I moved here, but I was just like, okay, I was there, and like I never wanted to move back until pandemic, and I'm like, a nice backyard would be very nice.
No, literally, I was like, oh my God, as soon as I got back, not that we don't have backyards in the Bay, but it's like, it's really expensive. So if you got a house in a backyard, you're doing something. Um, I mean, let me not say that it's not possible, but they're usually real small. And no, I came back to Colorado and I was like, oh, I forgot what it like to have some
Yeah.
space. I feel like I could breathe again.
Are you
But
in Denver?
yeah, I'm in Denver now. I'm living as a nomad for this year, so who knows what's next. But Denver is my home base.
You guys
So
had a major demonstration this weekend too, right?
yeah. So we got Friday
Yeah.
and Saturday. I'm gonna be tired. Y'all gonna be tired. You got Sunday. It's always, here's the thing, Tegaru, we're different, okay? The way that there's a million things going on, but a million things need to go on, because like everyone needs to be talking to everyone that they know everywhere that they're at, making it happen. I appreciate the hell that you like the fact that y'all went door to door, you know what I mean? Like actually going and like interfacing with people, because it's a really easy like ignore on the screen, you know what I mean? It's a really good
Yeah.
like delete, email, this, that, and it's a really hard when somebody is like, you can feel their emotions when they're talking to you, and to like completely just be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, like, it's
Yeah.
hard for people to just blow you off and reject you in that way. So it's like, I'm glad that y'all did that, because I feel like that's the extra step that we have to do. You know what I mean? That extra mile that we got to go for our people, and to like get, get ourselves out there. We're not out there for other reasons. Our communities are strong in terms of like, our parents have managed to like keep in contact with one another, and like soar, they have like some type of community in most of the major cities that we all live in. But there's been like a slower passing of the torch, you know what I mean? Where like
Yeah.
our generation has been a little bit more disconnected. And so this is kind of just forcing us to get back out there. And so our communities have always been insulated, where it's like we are all inside, and it's been like kind of this thing. And now we're like, oh, hold on, we got to show the rest of the world that we have these large communities here and that we exist. And I hope that we never forget that, because we don't want to be back in this situation. Like,
Right.
like we want to, as soon as there's a red flag, I want to be able to do. Hold on, y'all. Hey guys, we're gonna need to go be out there because something's popping. Like, I want us to be ready to go at all times. So I'm just impressed that you guys are able to organize anything in the tri-state, because it is ridiculously hard to be in such a busy place. But then two, that you're also focusing on children, because we were the once those children who were ignored and nobody told us about anything. And that's why we're here. But like, you're already making sure that that isn't something that gets passed down to the next generation. So I commend you, because that's beautiful and amazing. And that leads me into my last question for you both. So I always end this all my episodes now, with the question of, what do you want your legacy to be?
Gonna go first, or should I? I've really like recalibrated it all, you know. I think this has changed my life in a way that I didn't expect. Like, now I want part of our legacy is combined to be that this never happened again to us. This has happened twice now in my life. In the 1980s, there was the same thing, like the same thing. Babies were starving to death, and we had to watch, you know, as artists and stuff rescue them, which, you know, like you guys said, like the culture is always what led, you know, back then, Michael Jackson and stuff. But so we're not doing it again, and that's what I want my with all of you to be, that that gets passed family ever again. Children dying ever. So that's what I hope.
I love that. I affirm that for sure. Favorite way?
Yeah, no, I agree, Abby. And this is a conversation that I feel like we're always having here at the house, whether it's with my dad or my husband. And it's just like, we want to build a Tegaru, right? Or an environment that like isn't gonna allow this kind of stuff, right? All of the atrocities that are being committed, the trauma, the suffering, like, it cannot get repeated. Like, it can't happen to my kids, you know? Like, so we have to all, like you said, Abby, we have to work really hard. We have to be really smart. We have to be unified so that this doesn't repeat itself. Like, I would like that to be part of my legacy too, because I have children, and if we don't end it here, if we don't find a solution now, then that's what we're, you know, like, it's gonna happen again, and that's not okay. Yeah. But beyond that, like, I want to make sure that, like, I don't know, before I used to do a lot of service, right? Like, that was just, I was committed to service, and at a certain point I kind of like veered off from that, and then I started, like, I focused on my business and like, you know, like accumulating wealth and all of that. Mm-hmm. And if anything that this crisis has taught me, because I've been like, I don't know, I've been in touch with like my former self and like wanting to like give my time and my energy to helping others and to like solving the issues that are around me and the suffering. Like, that's something that I've always been passionate about. So I'm even thinking about a career change at this point. Like, you know, like, I want to live a life of service. So, and I want my kids to also have that same like love and passion and respect. So that's what I want my legacy to be: service and like love for my friends, my community. And yeah, I just want to do something really impactful, and like, even if it's like this small, like, I just want to contribute in any way. Yeah, I don't know if my connection is going bad, because like your screen, your phone, I can't really see you, like the video quality.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I can see y'all clearly on my end, so I'm gonna hope that that's what the audience is seeing. Um,
Yeah.
but man, listen, I love everything y'all said. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and just claim it and manifest it and affirm that that legacy is going to be true because it's one that I want to. And I'll use every bit of me to make sure that like I don't leave this earth without like planting all the seeds necessary to make sure that we don't have that issue, that we don't have this issue again. Cause bro, my grandma has survived 3 wars at this point. I think she's done her time. You know,
No more. Yeah.
I think she's done her time. So I'm gonna go ahead and claim that. We are gonna be the difference. Hey, think about it. We are the difference. We're the first generation of diaspora. We're the first generation outside of the country that can actually help this country. So I want to make sure that I affirm that for us. And also I want to affirm you ladies because you know you stepped up. Oh, there she goes.
Oh,
She disappeared. It's okay. I'm about to end this anyway. So hopefully she can hear it for the comments. Um, that y'all are exactly in the position that you need to be in, you know? In order for you to get that goal, to get to that dream, you're exactly in the position you need to be in. Like the call went out and you answered it. And that's the only thing that like is required is that a willing and able person. Because
exactly.
that's the only way we solve problems, right? And so I want to affirm that like you're already doing it. Those were big legacies. Normally I can just tell you like, yep, you already accomplished it.
No, no,
But
it's gonna take time, but I think this is like, you know, we are all answering the call. You too, like
listen,
in a major way. I'm excited for you. That's good.
thank you, because you know I got we got lots of work to do, but I want to affirm that for y'all because honestly, it makes my day easier. It makes my job easier. It makes everything that I want to accomplish easier because I'm like, here are other dope women doing the work. I don't have to worry about is New York handled because I already know New York is handled. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's so much easier when you think about this problem that we're dealing with. It's like the idea of protecting a nation. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea of protecting an entire nation is such a huge idea, and it's like scary and overwhelming. And like for all of us to be saying that we want that to be our legacy tells us that we have exactly what we need to accomplish it. Because if everybody is working towards the same goal, there's no way we're not reaching it. There's no
Right.
way, no way at all. And I just want to affirm that for us, because it's gonna happen. Tigray and Akademit, Tigray and it's like we're here, like we're gonna make it happen. And I am so honored and blessed to have like sisters across the world that are doing this work. I mean, the men are too, but like for us, it's like, especially when I talk about the children and like the burden of carrying a culture, you know what I mean? It's not even a burden, the honor and the privilege that we
Right.
have to carry on a culture and to like make sure that our people are good and that our children are affirmed and that they deserve to live and to not have harm. Like I think, look, we gonna accomplish that. That's it. We gonna
Yeah.
accomplish that one. Like that's it. Like I'm not gonna argue with nobody about it. Um,
I
but
can't
thank you so.
have to go there, but that's where we are. That's where we are.
No,
It's a good thing.
no.
Some of we're privileged to be here to help to somehow, but yeah.
It's all, and that's all we can do. And the fact that we try is like all that is required of us is that we care and that we try and that we keep trying every day. And that's it. That's literally that's the biggest hack in life. You know what I mean?
Right.
In case anyone was wondering, it's like you first have to decide that you're gonna do it, and then you got to do something every day until you get there. And I'm just like I said, I'm beyond blessed. And I don't know, I've been saying this a lot lately. I was like, as much as we go through and as much as our people suffer through, I wouldn't want to be born anything else.
No, I wouldn't either. No, no way.
No, like I wouldn't. I don't even hesitate in thinking that. Like I'm like, what? Huh? Oh no,
Yeah.
I've never wanted to be anything but who I am. And it's just the world that try to convince us otherwise. And I'm so glad that there's people who know that, who are willing to fight it. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So the one more time for the people, what the details are.
Yeah, so it's Harlem advocacy / well, networking group. But anyway, this is the Harlem Tegaru group. Run, walk, wheel, whatever you want, starting at 9 a.m. exactly on the dot, to run through a loop in Harlem, which is only 1.5 miles, or walking or whatever, and then meet up again at 10 a.m. After the run for a rally and march, really march again through the town of Harlem. So
Perfect.
That's on 125th Street and Adam Clayton Powell, ACP, or 7th, also sometimes called 7th Avenue. And it's a state building. It's a statue. There's a meeting space. It's very obvious. 125th and ACP at 10 again. So, and then we'll march through the town, and we'll get as many people as possible aware of what's happening, as well as raise a little money to send to our kids. So that's what we're doing.
It's gonna be. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a beautiful turnout. Please send me pictures, because
send us pictures of Denver too.
Well, yeah,
of course it'll be live. I know it.
It'll be live everywhere. You'll get all the angles. Don't worry.
I know
there will be plenty of coverage. But I've been to I've been to a couple of national protests, but I haven't got to do the smaller kids one. I really want to participate in those types of things. So I'm gonna live vicariously through y'all. Again, that is this Sunday, y'all. Sunday,
13th is National Children's Day.
Thank you. And that's gonna be in Harlem, New York. If you have not already, please go follow Tri-State Tegaru, and I think Tegaru Advocacy Group. They're gonna continue to have updates there. If you're in the East Coast and you're still not connected to a community and you want to be, that's who you should connect to, and get involved. And it's going to be a beautiful turnout, and we're going to continue. This is a marathon, okay, not a sprint. And we're going to keep working every day, and we need our teams to be strong, and we need our teams to have the help that they need. So this is beautiful and amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we were able to make this work.
Oh, thank you. Me too. Thank you. Sorry about my technical difficulties.
Girl, bye. It's Instagram Live. Listen, we have been virtual for a year. We are all used to the technical difficulties at this point. So we're good. But thank you so much, sis. I'm gonna go be with fam. You enjoy the rest of your evening. Feben, I don't know where she's at. Maybe her phone died.
I'll tell her goodbye. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock and she has small kids. So yes, she's probably with them.
Probably. All right.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.